So, what's the difference between cutting and doing a regular weight loss? First of all, we need to talk about what a cut even is. Cutting refers to the concept of cutting away fat and keeping your muscle. So a cut involves two parts: keeping muscle and burning fat. A better description than to cut would in my opinion be to define. Even if you don't have too much muscle yet, I would argue that cutting is still superior to just losing weight, because keeping that muscle and doing weightlifting has got several health benefits. So how do you cut? First of all, let's talk about losing fat. To lose fat, you have to stay in a caloric deficit. In my previous video, I went over the concept of losing fat, and you can check out that video over here. But to keep all that muscle, staying in a caloric deficit will not be enough. You will also have to consume enough protein in your diet. Most people that work out agree that 0.8 to 1.1 grams of protein per pound of body weight, or 1.6 to 2.1 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight, is enough to keep your muscle. This means that if you have a body weight of 75 kilograms, you should consume around 150 grams of protein per day, and then fill up the rest of your daily intake of calories with fats and carbohydrates. Some people choose to count all their macros, but you can do this as you please. When you start out with counting calories and hitting targets, I would recommend that you just try to count your calories and your protein intake to begin with. So, how many calories should you consume per day? Most people recommend a deficit around 500 to 1000 calories per day, and not lower than this if you want to keep your muscle. So, if your total daily energy expenditure is at 2500 and you're at a caloric deficit of 500 calories, you should eat around 2000 calories per day. This will make you lose around 0.5 kilograms or 1 pound per week, since 500 times 7 is 3500 and so on. When you cut, how should you do your lifting? This differs some between people, but you can just continue on your regular program. And if you don't have a program yet, no worries, there are tons of different programs online. Most people recommend doing starting strength if you're a beginner. Links in the description. But find something that fits your schedule and your personality. There are tons of workout programs online. Google is your friend over here. The most important part is that even though you're cutting, you should still lift heavy and push yourself to preserve that fat-free body mass. Another key part often forgotten is sleep. As I mentioned before, sleep has a huge impact on your training and dieting. Not only do you get more hungry from insufficient sleep, but your sleep also impacts your recovery, which plays a big role in not just building muscle, but also if you want to keep that muscle. Regarding cardio, you certainly do not have to do cardio. As long as you're in a caloric deficit, you will be fine. However, it can give you a boost in your deficit, so do as you please. But one of the most common misconceptions when it comes to losing fat is that you have to do cardio, which of course is false. And here are some quick tips for you. Learn to drink black coffee without milk, cream or sugar. Once you do it, you won't go back. Coffee is a great way to suppress your appetite. Find your favorite low-calorie foods. Personally, I love protein pancakes. And you should also set up short-term as well as long-term goals. Once you reach your goals, the satisfaction is quite an amazing feeling. And in the future, I will make another video regarding some tips on how to make your cut easier. Don't forget to subscribe so that you won't miss out on that. So, in a nutshell, what you need to do to keep muscle and lose fat is perform heavy weightlifting, eat sufficient protein, stay below your total daily energy expenditure, sleep a lot, and once again, have patience. When you see your result, you will thank yourself and your motivation will skyrocket. So keep up the good work. Good luck and thank you.